Okay, so yesterday we have seen the material master configuration. So the behind or what are the configuration behind the material master configuration? We have seen that like material type configuration and related settings. So yesterday we have just started the material master creation, right? So we have seen the material master creation. So today we will be continuing on that. So let's see how to create a material master. So the SAP menu path, you already know that we need to go to the logistics, then to the material management, then here material master. From here, we need to go to the material, and here we need to go to create general, and here we need to go to the immediately. Okay. So if we select the immediately button, then it will create the material master by immediate effect. Okay. And there is one more function is over there. So there is one more function is there, scheduling function. So let's say you are scheduling the material master for some time. Let's say for next week or from next month, the material will be created. So in that case, you will be selecting this option, schedule option. You have to select it. Okay. So this T code is MM11. So whenever you are going to schedule a material, so you can create the material by default how you are creating inside the MM01, but it will not create immediately, it will create for a time. So let's say this is change is scheduled for, so on that date only it will be activated. Until that you will be not able to see that material or you cannot use that material. Okay. So now let's go to the immediately function. So here also we have seen this is the material number. If it is an internal number range, then we have to leave it blank. And next one is industry sector. So basically this is a, let's say for which industry you are creating the material, that industry sector. So we have also seen how to create an industry sector. Then last one is the material type. We have seen the material type, how to create a material type. So now let's select the industry sector. Now let's say ITC paper we need to select, and material type we need to select. It is a raw material, right? Raw material for ITC. Let's enter it. It will take the internal number range. So here we are just taking the mandatory fields, mandatory user department, that is basic data 1, purchasing, general and plant data 1, and accounting 1. We're just selecting this one. And we will be seeing like whenever we are going to different process, let's say for the third party procurement we need to create the sales view. Also for MRP we need to activate the MRP view. Also whenever we are going to WM, then we will be having the WM view also, but by default, by basic, we are just starting with the 4 views. Okay. So first one is plant. So let's take our plant and storage location, this one. Let's enter it. So now just enter the some raw material description over here. Okay. So the first one here is the general data. Okay. Inside the general data, first option or first field is base unit of measure. So basically this is the unit of measure what we need to keep it for the, let's say how we are going to manage or keep the materials inside our plant, or how we need to procure it. So by default this is the mandatory group. Okay. Mandatory mandatory unit that we need to put. Other than that, there are different units are there. We are going to see into it in like in the later configuration page. We are going to see that what are the different types of unit that we use in SAP for the material master, what are the different types of units and where we are using, that we will going to see. But this is base unit of measure and this is mandatory. Okay. So you need to keep on unit how you are going to procure that material or how you need to store that material. So this is called as basic unit of measure, and this is a mandatory field. So let's say here we can take as a, let's say you can take any kind of base unit of measure. So here you can see there are list of units are available, so you can take any unit. So um let's say any unit, let's say kg. Okay, kilogram. Let's take kg as a unit. Then next one is the material group. So similarly, as per your like what we see in material type, similarly we can group the material let's say for the similar characteristic, we can group the materials in the material group. So there is a difference between material group and material type. These are both are used to categorize the material, but there is a little bit difference between the material type and material group. So basically material type is used to define the procurement type, means how you are going to procuring, how you are going to store it, and how you are going to let's say how you are going to, let's say, the billing is necessary or not. So these kind of activities, for that we have categorized the material type, so that is related to but this material group is basically how we are going to use that material. So let's say to manufacture, let's say, steel material, or to manufacture a plastic material, or to manufacture, let's say, to manufacture a mobile, how many components are needed, we can group them in a group. Okay, we can group these kind of materials, so that is called a material group. So these are basically needed for the FI reporting purpose. Okay, this is not for, let's say, this is not for the our purpose, but this is basically, it is for the FI purpose. Let's say for the steel manufacturing, how many materials are there, and what is the like cost of that material, how we are getting, like, for manufacturing the steel, how many materials are required, or what is the cost of that material. So we will be getting a FI purpose, we will be getting a report like how much we are like putting the cost to manufacture a product. Okay, so that's why we have this material group. Okay, so there are already some material groups are existing. Okay, so there are many existing material groups are there, so you can either select from the existing one. Let's say these are steels, metal processing, steel sheets, electronics, mechanics, fasteners and cable, miscellaneous, engine, pumps. So these are some basic material groups are there. So if you need to create a new material group also, you can create it. Okay, so let's see how you can create a new material group. So let's say go to the open a new screen. Let's go to the SPRO. Here we can go to the SAP reference IMG. Here we can go to the material management. Okay, just a second. Okay, not in the let's go to the logistics general. Here we can go to the material master. Here we can go to the settings for key fields. So here you can see define material group, right? So just click on it. So here you can see there are some material groups are there. If you want to create a new material group, so you can go to the new entries. Let's say some material group, let's say IT01. Okay, and let's say material group description is, let's say, paper material. Okay, just enter it. Okay, so now we have created a new material group. Let's say IT01 we have created. Let's save it. So the data is saved now. So now let's go back to the previous screen. Okay, now I believe it will be not proposing over here. So these are the find buttons. Okay, so you can click on the find and you can search for the field. Let's say IT01 we have created, and let's find this IT01 is paper material is available over here. Okay, so we are taking the material group. So material group is also a mandatory field for your material master. Okay, next one is here cross plant material status. Okay, so this is if you need to block some material, let's say you need to block some material for procurement or for storing. So for that purpose you can select this cross plant material status. So here you can see the drop down. Here you can see there is 01 is mentioned for the block for procurement and warehousing. 02 is for block for task list or BOM. BP is for block for purchasing. K is block for costing. So you can block this material for some purpose. Okay, let's say for procurement or for BOM or for purchasing or for costing or free for pilot page, anything you can mention it, like you can restrict the material. Okay, so that is basically that is the need of this cross plant material status. So you can restrict the material for some like for some function you can block it, okay, or you can restrict it. Okay, so this is basically the important field for this general data. Okay, first one is base unit of measure, second one is your material group, and third one is your cross plant. X means cross plant. Okay, X means cross plant material status. Okay, so next one is dimension and EAN. So basically this dimensions and all the fields are related to your warehouse module. Okay, we can enter these units, means this is we can enter the unit and it will be showing for your material master, but this will be not useful in our module, because material storing is not that much of important for material master. Basically we deal in the procurement. Okay, so how we need to purchase, so that is basically our goal, and this material will be stored inside the storage location. And storage location, we don't have much information on the how the material is getting stored or not. That is not related to module, so that's why it is not very much of important as perspective of module. Let's say you are using the module. Okay, so when you are using the module, then you have to definitely you need to define this gross weight, net weight, volume. So these kind of things, size, dimension, everything you need to mention, because you are going to store that product and you need to define a process or need to define a technique to store that product, or how you are going to store that product. So for that you need to have all these details. Okay, so it is most important for the selection or model, but not that much of important for the model. Okay, so next one is this is packaging material data. If you are packing the material data, again this is not related to our model. This will be again utilized in the model. Okay, so these are basically some of the important fields for the basic data one. Let's just enter the whenever
So
you are.
one second.
Yes,
So only three fields:
yes,
basic, base unit of measure, material group, and this cross plant material
yes.
status.
These two are only mandatory fields. Okay, these two are only
Okay.
mandatory fields. Other than that, you can select any of the. Let's say you have to maintain a division, lab office. These are only information purpose. Okay, these are not having any significance to the material master. Let's say there is no importance for that, but in your customer or in your real time scenario, let's say you have this data, then you have to upload it or you have to enter it. Okay, but there is no significance in in our perspective. Only we need to have these two fields as mandatory field, and this is one field we can define it here. If we are going to block the material for some purpose, then we can define it. Okay, but basically
So
only. So once you are completing one screen, let's say this screen is completed, right? So now you want to go to the next screen. You have to just hit enter, just enter the screen, just hit the enter, and you will go to next screen. Okay, so now this one is the purchasing view. Okay, so inside the purchasing view, you can see the base unit of measure is there. Now you can see there is one more unit, order unit is there, right? So let's say your base unit of measure is kg. Let's say you are ordering the material in tons. Okay, let's say your base unit of measure is kg, but you are ordering it tons, or let's say quintals, or any kind of different unit. In different unit you are procuring the material. So in that case you have to enter a different order unit over here. Let's say you are procuring in tons, then you have to select as ton. Okay, you can see the order unit. Here you can see this US ton is there. Okay, you can select it as tons. So let's say, so once you are entering this order unit here, then in the purchasing screen, it will be showing you this order unit only. Whenever you are entering the material number in the purchasing screen, it will be allowing you to provide the order in this unit only. Okay, in the order unit only. If you are not mentioning it, then it will take by default the base unit of measure. Let's say there will be no other units are there, so by default it will take the base unit of measure. If you are mentioning something in the order unit, then it will be taking in the purchasing screen or in the RFQ screen, it will be taking the order unit as the standard unit. Okay, so now there is one more condition, variable unit of measure is there. Okay, so variable unit of measure, why it is required? Let's say in the purchasing screen you might use the order unit as ton, or you can use the order unit as kg, or you can take a different order unit. So in that case you need to select this variable order unit. Okay, you can see the drop down. So here you can see when it is blank, it is showing that not active. When it is 1, it is showing as active. When it is 2, it is active with own price. Okay, so you can select any of it. So let's say whenever it is active, then it will, in the purchasing screen you will be able to take different units over there. Okay, so you can take either any kind of like selection from that. Either you can select it blank, so it will take the order unit as the standard unit in the purchasing screen, or else if you are not mentioning any order unit, then it will take the base unit of measure only. Okay, so this is the different type of order unit that is available. Okay, now next one is the purchasing group. So what is a purchasing group? Purchasing group is basically, this is either a single person or a group of person who are responsible for procuring these kind of material. Let's say this is a raw material. Okay, so who are responsible for purchasing the raw material? So in the business scenario, there will be in one purchasing department, there will be different persons or different groups will be available, who will be procuring different types of material. Let's say packaging material, some people will buy those packaging material only. Some people, they will be responsible for buying or purchasing the raw materials only, and some people, they will be responsible for procuring, let's say, semi finished material or other material or service kind of things. Some people are responsible to buy those kind of product. So for that, there is purchasing groups are available. Okay, so here you can see the existing purchasing groups are there. Okay, so here you can see the existing purchasing groups are there. Okay, so one more thing I need to mention it over here. So let's say this purchasing group, it is individual. Let's say it is not related to any purchasing organization or any plant. It is not related to anyone. That's why we call it as a floating unit. Okay, floating unit means you can use it for any of the, let's say you have means in the purchasing organization, let's say with any kind of purchasing organization, you can have this purchasing group. Okay, for a single plant you can have a single purchasing group, or you can for a purchasing group you can procure for different plants also, you can procure. Okay, go into the next screen, the other screen. So now let's go back. So here we need to go back. So here we need to go to the material management. Okay, here we need to go to the purchasing. Here we can see, not here. Okay, so here you can see create purchasing groups. Okay, in the main screen itself you can see create purchasing group. So basically if you want to create a new purchasing group, you need to go to new group. Here let's say you are creating purchasing group IT1. Okay, description of purchasing group is, let's say, okay, so here we have created the purchasing group. So let's save it. So basically see, there are couple of settings are there. Okay, so first thing is, let's go back, you can understand. Okay, so basically there are some settings that are related to purchasing. Okay, so basically this purchasing data related to any purchasing data will be coming under the purchasing screen, and it will be under the material management. Okay, and purchasing, inside the purchasing you will be having different fields. Let's just this one. So you can see there is material master is there, vendor master is there, and you can see there is a purchasing groups are there, purchasing info record is there, source list, quota arrangement, RFQ, purchase requisition, purchase order. So you can have all the things related to purchasing inside the purchasing view only. Okay, or else you can, for the simplification, you can do one thing. Once we are going into the video, then you can just note down the T codes from here. Okay, some fields are inside the SPRO screen only, you will be not getting any T codes for that, but most of the fields that will be having some specific T codes. So you need to note down that T code and you need to remember it. Okay, first thing, this is the first thing you can do. Or second thing, you can understand likewise. Let's say anything related to purchasing. Let's say in the material master, here we have some purchasing group, and here we have some purchasing value key. So this purchasing fields, like this is a purchasing, like purchasing department or purchasing screen, right? So here anything you want to create, you have to create it inside this purchasing view. Okay, inside the material management and purchasing tree, here only you will be getting all the options. Okay, so gradually when you are going to practice, you are practicing, start practicing, you will be getting know. Okay, right now it might be little bit confusing, right? It is little bit confusing and you might not be able to like, it is little bit more of informations are there. You can see there are different fields are there where we need to find. So this is kind of difficulty in the starting phase, but once you are practicing on a daily basis, then you will be easily, you will be memorize, means which fields are, means where you can find the fields over where. Okay, got it? Still
Yeah.
any doubts? So basically most of the settings you will be getting inside the material management only. Okay, material management and inside the purchasing only. Here you can find the most of the settings you will be getting inside the here purchasing screen only. Some of the settings that is related to your plant, it will be under your logistics, like here logistics general. Inside the logistics general you can find some of the fields. Okay, like material master, which is related to your plant selection. Okay, here you can see the basic settings is there. So here you can see the material number and company code for the material. Field selection are there. So here you can see the field selection groups are there. Okay, there is some industry specific industry creation. So these are related to your plant field. Okay, so anything related to plant, you can find all of these settings inside this logistics general. Okay, so you can practice and you can just means once you are starting practicing every day, you are practicing sometime, then definitely you will be getting these ideas, like how you need to go to the specific field, you will be getting it now. So for the starting period it will be a little bit confusing. Okay, but once you start practicing, so definitely you need to start practicing, right?
Mhm.
This is the second time you are in the course, right? So definitely you need to like practice a little bit more, so that you will be able to like get the fields, where you can find the fields, how it is easy to remember or understand, you will be getting it. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So basically where are we? Purchasing group, right? So purchasing group we have created IT1, right? So here paper purchasing, let's take that one. Okay, so this is basically the mandatory field for this purchasing screen. Okay, for the purchasing screen only material group is required. Okay, this is a mandatory field. So next one is material group. Okay, material group also we have created it, right? So we have seen the material group and purchasing group. Now again the plant specific material status. it is also the kind of blocking that we have seen in the first page, that we need to block the material for some purpose. So here also you can restrict the material. The same things are mentioned over here, but it is more related to your purchasing organization. Okay, in the basic data one, that is related to your like let's say for your company code and plant, it is a general view. But for this field or for this screen, this plant specific material status, if you are setting something under block, then it will be blocked for that purchasing organization only. Okay, so it will be blocked for that purchasing organization. So next one is uh, okay, so these are some of the fields that is not very much of important, but a tax indicator for material, this is kind of important. Let's say if you are having a domestic client, let's say you are having some tax for that material, let's say 10% of tax, 15% of tax, let's say 50% of tax, some material will be taxable. So that tax indicator you can set it over here. So let's say here you can see there are some tax conditions are there: 0 for 0 tax, 1 for 15%, 50% of tax, and 2 for 100% of tax. So you can define the tax indicator over there. If you are defining some of the taxes, it will be coming, the tax part will be coming inside your purchasing screen. Let's say whenever you are creating a purchase order or you are providing a RFQ, in that case it will be showing the tax indicator for that, if any tax is liable for that. Okay, so next one is qualifying for free goods discount. So this is basically if your material is like if your material is reliable, or if your material is like it is related to some kind of discount, so you can provide that information over here. Okay, so here you can see there is a blank, means not eligible for discount any kind. Okay, one is eligible for discount in kind of purchasing and sales, 2 is eligible for discount and only in purchasing, 3 is eligible for discount only in sales. So you can define any of the indicator over here. Let's say there is a discount. Let's say whenever you are going to buy the material, there will be some discount you can get from your vendor, and there will be some discount whenever you are going to sell the product to the market, there will be some discount for that material. So in those cases you can define some free goods indicator over here. So how the material is free, like how you there is a discount is there. Okay, you can mention it over here. So next one is automatic PO. So automatic PO means sometimes what happens, you can create the PO automatically. So right now let's say um, so automatic PO, we will be going into that details once we are completing the material master and vendor master. Once we are completing, after that only we will be going into automatic PO. So just till that point, just park it there. Okay, because right now if I tell you the details, might be you will be not able to understand. So automatic PO, we will be park it till we are completing the purchasing the material master and vendor master. Okay, next one is batch management. So batch management is basically whenever you are managing the material in some batches, so in that case you will be having the batch management activate here. Okay, so once you are having the batch management activated, then you can store the material in batches. Let's say for this month you will be having one batch, and next month you will be having a next batch. So likewise you can maintain your materials. So this is basically required. Well, let's say for you are manufacturing some of the products or you are selling some of the products, let's say you are maintaining it on the batches. So what will happen, let's say there will be some faulty materials will be there. Okay, in some cases, in some manufacturing process, let's say there is some faulty cases will be there, faulty materials will be there. So it will be very easy to trace out those kind of faulty materials if you are managing those are in a batches. So let's say there is a material is found out faulty, so you can call the whole batch. Okay, so you can see from which batch this material was taken, so that you can be able to easily trace out if there is any faulty materials are there. Okay, so that is the reason we are having the batch management activated for the material. So once you are having the batch management activated, then you can store the material in batches. Okay, store the material, and you can do the goods issue in the batches only. Okay, if you are not selected, then you can, it is not mandatory, then you can store the material as you wish or as you like. Okay, but normally in the let's say in the manufacturing industry, normally we store the material in the batches. Okay, so this is also a important indicator for the material master. Okay, so next one is purchasing value. This is also an important field. This will define, let's say you will be sending some reminders, let's say how the shipping will happen, like how they are going to the ship, do the shipping, or what is the condition for the shipping. All of the things will be maintained in the purchasing values. Okay, here you can see there are multiple fields are there. There is, let's say, first remaining or expected reminder, second reminder, third reminder, and standard value delivery date variance. And there is some shipping instruction are there: over delivery tolerance, over delivery, under delivery tolerance, over delivery tolerance, minimum delivery quantity, on there is unlimited over delivery, and acknowledgement required. These are some of the fields that you can define inside the shipping instruction and the purchasing value key. So now let's go to see how we can create a purchasing value key and how we can define all these fields. Okay, so for that we need to go to the other screen. So here also this is related to your purchasing, so we have to go to the purchasing screen. So inside the material management we need to go to purchasing. So here you can go to the material master. So inside the material master you can see define shipping instruction is the first one, second one is the purchasing value key. So let's go to the shipping instruction. So here you can see there are multiple shipping instructions are there, right? So if you want to create a new shipping instruction, then you can create a new entry. So here let's say we are putting I1. Okay, shipping description is let's say ITC paper shipping instruction. So here there is a print shipping instruction is there. So if you are selecting this print shipping instruction, this will be printed on your PO. Whenever you are sending the PO, it will print the shipping instruction also inside the in the PO printout. Okay, you can select it from here. Let's just enter it. Now you have to select this one and you have to click compliance with shipping instructions. Okay, just click on this one. So basically you can provide some compliances over here. So let's say new entries. Here you can put the compliances. Let's say 01 compliance is for. So here you can maintain shipping instructions are followed. Okay, so you can give some points. Let's say 100 points you have to give for if the shipping instructions are followed. Let's say for 02, let's say the shipping instructions not followed. Let's say for this we are giving 50%, 50 points we are giving to this one. Let's say 03, and we are giving this to broken or damaged goods. Let's say you are receiving the product as a broken or damaged good, so let's say we are giving some 10 points to it. 0 point you cannot maintain 0 in SAP, so that's why we can give 1 or 2, anything you can maintain, but you cannot enter a 0 over it. Okay, so here this is basically shipping instruction. So how you are going to rate your vendor, like they have followed the shipping instruction and they have provided you the good material, or they have not like they have not followed your shipping instruction, whatever your instruction you have given to them, like this should be wrapped in a wrapper, or this should be um, you should get the material inside a box or something. You have instructed them but they have not followed. Okay, or you are getting some damaged or broken products you are giving, you can give the points like 10 or 20. Likewise you can provide them, so that the vendor will be rated like this is a good vendor, they have followed the instructions and they have provided you good products. So this will be rating for your like for your vendor, it will be give some ratings. Okay, so now just save it. Okay, so we have created the shipping instruction I1. Okay, now let's go back. So this is the shipping instruction created. Okay, so now we have to maintain this shipping instruction inside our purchasing value key. So here there is a define purchasing value key is there. We need to enter it here. So here you can see there is some purchasing value keys are already defined. So we can create a new purchasing value key. Let's say purchasing value key is, also we can take it I1, or you can take anything. Okay, purchasing value key, let's say IT01. Okay, so here you can provide the deadlines. Okay, the first reminder or deadline when you are going to provide the reminders to your vendor. Let's say if you are putting in a positive value, let's say you are giving it 5 minutes, after 5 days, let's say your delivery date was for today. Okay,